I'm stuck on the road, driving to the den for Endymion to put the beads on the float. As part of this, we actually have to show up and load all of the beads onto the float a couple of days ahead of time. So today is Wednesday and the parade is Friday. The beads are loaded in the back of the van, as you can see back there, and they're in these nifty little bead bags, and every single one of them weighs about 50 or 75 pounds, and I've got about 14 or 15 of them, so it weighs a whole lot, but you break them down a little bit and you carry them up the steps and put them on the float, so hopefully it's not too bad. So this is part of it, of course, and I'm looking forward to getting down to New Orleans to Metairie and seeing what the float looks like. This building is called the Den. It's where all of the floats for the entire crew are housed during the year, and then of course right now when it's time for everybody to load up their floats and getting ready to ride the parade, this is where you come and put everything on the float. And so if you can see all the way down, all of the floats. Now we'll go take a look at the float that I'm going to be riding on for Mardi Gras. This is the float that I'm going to be riding. You can see it has like a little fairy and a sprite up at the top, and she's holding, if you can see, a butterfly. Now, if you look on the front, look at all that. You see all those flowers. I'm not sure what those are, but that is the design of the float. And then look all down the side, and they have flowers on top. See? And then here's the back part of the float, and I think that is Pan. And see, they also have the same flowers, and they have the lower sections and the upper sections for riders to ride. This is the chart where they tell everybody where they're going to be riding. And so if you can see, this tells me that I'm going to be riding on the back of the float on the driver's side on this lower section. And so it should be somewhere right over there. Let's go take a look. Basically, the way that the riders get on the float is that there's a series of steps that are cut into the side of the float that a little door opens and you can walk on. So here are the steps that we will walk up to get into the float. And then there's where I'm going to be riding. Alright, so this is what my spot on the float looks like, and they have everybody's name, telling everybody where to stand. And so this is me, my number, and then this is some other stuff that they've loaded on the float for me already. And then here come all the bags over the top that we loaded up. And of course, inside each one of these bags of beads, take a look at these. And those are what we're going to be throwing on Saturday on the parade. And each one of these bags is filled. Each one of these bags is filled with Mardi Gras beads. But of course, beads aren't the only thing that people throw. Some of us throw footballs and stuffed animals and cups and trinkets and all sorts of things. And so it's just what anybody wants to throw, they can bring on the float and throw it for the people that are watching the parade. Now, of course, after unloading all these beads and putting them on the float, there's not a whole lot of room to stand, as you can see. And of course, other people are having the same problem. Someone has to stand right there where all that stuff is. So on the day that we actually ride the floats, people have to come and take the beads out, and they hang them on these hooks like this. Now, here's the neat thing about the floats from the inside. You have a little bit of space, as you can see, kind of in the middle here, but not a lot. This is actually the bathroom, believe it or not, that we use on the float. There's one, and then there's one. And also, as you can see, they have these electric lights that are hanging. And they have a generator that turns on the lights so that when we're rolling down the street, these lights are going to be lit up and blinking and so forth. And also that people can see us and we can see them, which is kind of neat. And so that's just a little part of what it takes to get ready for a Mardi Gras parade. And they do that every year, several times a year, for every single parade in New Orleans. It takes a lot of work, but it sure is worth it.